Hey guys, this is EBPMAN. We're going to complete the installation of the CT200H door sills. Give yourself around 30 minutes for the install, especially after reviewing the instructions. It may take you that amount of time. So as long as you have enough time to do it, it should be a snap. Let's see how easy it is. Okay, so here are the tools that you need for the installation, at least the ones that I found that were handy. Definitely having a flashlight. As you can see, I have my two tools that I use to remove the door sills, some pliers, also some scissors, and I used an electric drill, but you can definitely get away with just using a screwdriver or a Phillips screwdriver and do it manually. Is to disconnect the battery. So we're going to remove this cover from the back. I'm going to put that maybe somewhere around here, get it out of the way. Notice that we have this tray right here that we'll have to remove. We'll go ahead and remove this guy. Nothing really attached to it. Just comes out just like that. I'll put it aside. Over here you'll notice there's another tray that has to be removed. This is where we're going to get the battery exposed. This one comes up just like that. Pretty straightforward and easy. Put that to the side. There is a little plastic bolt that we'll need to remove. That's just right there. We'll go ahead and remove that guy. And we'll do that just by twisting around a couple times. It should come off pretty easy. It's not too tight. Nope, not at all. This comes up. Push this to the side. And here's your battery. Now before we can actually expose the battery, one of the things that we're going to have to do is kind of remove this little panel that's right here. You'll notice that there are these little clips on both sides. So what we'll do is we'll just pull each one of these clips out. When we pull them out, we'll have access to the full battery. That way we can see the negative pull. Alright, so as you can see, I'm starting to pull this guy out. Comes out pretty easy. Now here you have your battery. We'll just loosen this screw, take the pole off, and then we'll start installation of the sill, the front sills. To remove that one pole, you'll need a 10mm wrench. So we'll go ahead and just start loosening that right now. Alright, as you can see, pretty simple. Screw comes off. You don't have to loosen the whole thing, just enough for it to come off. And then just put it to the side. Now we can start dismantling the front. Just like we did the back, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to use this tool to kind of pry, to kind of loosen things. There we go. Do the same thing on the opposite side. You can hear the snapping already. Okay, sounds good. That comes off. Once again, we got our little plastic nubs right there. And again, you can see that there is some electrical conduit, the one that we saw on the other side, going straight through. Also what we have is the windshield wiper fluid. Looks like little tubing. One of the things that they said in the instructions is when you do the twist ties, do not apply the twist ties to the plastic tubing. You don't want to put a kink in that or mess that up. Alright, the next step, now that we have that door sill, the plastic door sill removed, is to expose this panel that we have right here and also remove the bottom panel right underneath the airbag. There's a little clip right here that will pull back, and you'll see that once I do that, see, it kind of starts already coming out pretty easy. Over here, we'll just take this off. You saw that doesn't really take much to do that, and we'll remove this plastic piece so that we can get access to the wiring on this side. Now to remove this side, all I'm going to do is stick my hand right here. It's kind of tight, and then pull outwards, and that comes off. You notice that there's just one clip right there. I'm holding on to that piece, and it looks like some protection for some of the electrical conduit that's right here. So another piece out, pretty simple.
Okay.
Now what we'll do is remove this guy here. This has a little snap right here. Well, that guy came out. That guy came out. It's pretty simple. And here you'll see that this looks like the LED that lights your feet. And you'll see this cable coming out right here. So again, pretty simple, nothing broken. Things kind of snap in and snap out. Alright, now the next step is to remove from this LED this little power plug. You do that by pressing on this thing down like this, and I would put my hand here firmly, hold on to it, and then pull out just like that. Okay, now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using the crimpers, or these little splicers. We're going to be using these splicers to splice each one of these so that we have a place that we can get some of the current. Once you close these, guys, the cables that come with your illuminated sill would basically come in here like this. Alright, so it would go here. And it's pretty straightforward because red to red, and then this purple one to this yellow. In the instructions it shows going to a blue. Kind of threw me off at the beginning, but if you look here, you'll notice that there's blue, and that blue continues on, just turns yellow. So what we'll do is we'll put a crimp here, a crimp here. Instructions said maybe about 1.5 inches, so I'll probably put one in each one of these areas, and this is where we'll get the current. Again, this is, we're going to be tapping from the footlight to provide for the door sills. Let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so let's go ahead and put the crimper on it. You'll notice that right here there's kind of a little groove where your cable is going to go through. I was trying to figure out, hey, you know, where does it go? Does it go down here? Does it go here? I wasn't too sure, but it does make sense based on how this little thing kind of slides in right here. So that's kind of my guesstimate of what 1.5 inches would be. So we'll put it right there. Again, it's on the groove again, just like we showed. So you're not going to be able to kind of squeeze it closed with your hand. So what we're going to need to use is some pliers to do that. And that will kind of, you'll get like a little snap. I don't know if you could hear that. But now it's shut, and that's one of our first connections. So we're going to do the same thing with the next one. Get another piece out of the kit. All right. Do the same thing. And again, as I said earlier, you kind of position the wire in that little track, like so, and then you close it. And once again, it's kind of hard to do with your fingers. So you get your pliers, you squeeze, and you'll have a little snap sound that will take place. And those are both of your connections now. Now, as I indicated earlier, this guy will go here, and this one will go here. This is your blue, and this is your red. Alright, so now let's go ahead and connect the cables so it snaps in nice and firm. Okay, that's going to go there. I want to make sure that it goes all the way down and it touches, so it has good connection. Right there. Now the next step is to put this little foam around the connections. It's pretty sticky, so we'll go ahead and separate that. I want to try to put this kind of neatly here, so I'm going to put as close to the center as I can and kind of organize these so that you can kind of see that coming out right there. Okay, that nice and tight right there. So that will keep that nice and snug. Okay, and we should be able to connect this back in, no problem, right here. That snapped in really good. And now what I'll do is I'll tie with the twist ties that were provided, this right here, and run it with the rest of the cabling all the way straight through. Right. Next step, now that we have the connector in and it's already connected into that LED light, is to put these ties on. Just my personal preference. I wouldn't put the tie on these cables. Notice that here's this insulating wrap. Just push it down a little bit. Instructions say to put one here. Over here on this assembly, there's one here where you're going to put your fuse, which will be in that panel. One here. And then you can see here, one one before this purple connector, which carries this major cable, and then one after it. So all I have left to do is just to tighten them up. We'll do that really quick. So that guy's tightened. This one's tightened. We'll tighten this guy right here. Keep it there. No rattling around. That nice guy right there. And then it's just getting scissors and just crimping them off. Like that. Do the same thing right here. Just be careful you don't cut the other wires. They're already tight. Got that one. We'll go ahead and do the same thing and tighten this one right here. And we'll tighten this one in here. One of the things you got to be careful with, and I mentioned this earlier, is you notice I did not wrap the tie around the tube that provides the windshield fluid for the back. So once again, it's not connected to either one of these. It's connected to the black conduit pipe. So what we'll do is, now that we have that, do the same thing. Cut it. Cut that off. Now here's the door sill, and I got my little nubs. Probably should have done that first. Would have been easier probably, but we'll go ahead and install those. And remember, you'll hear a little snap as they go in. We'll do that here, here, and there. Position it like this, just to see that everything's going okay. And what I'll do is I'll put the panel on first before I actually snap it down, but all I'll need to do is snap it down and then we'll be done with the side. Let's put this guy back in. Make sure that you're not going over any cabling. Snaps in pretty easily right into place. Put in our little plastic. We'll go ahead and tighten that little plastic nut there. Not too tight, but just tight enough. It's plastic, so you don't want to over tighten it. And you can see that it's pretty firm right there. We'll go ahead and complete installation of the door sill. You already heard some familiar snapping going on. Okay, that side's in. Now all I have to do is put this panel back up, and we'll start on the other side. One thing that I noticed when putting the panel, there's this plastic piece right here. I don't know if you guys can see that pretty good. This plastic piece goes into this hole right here. So you need to make sure that you align it well. This piece going in here so that it doesn't trip up when you're putting the panel back on. Again, this goes in here, and then it should snap in with no problem.